Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we unpack your sources and pull out the key insight. And today we're going into something quite deep, very sensitive actually. The source material is excerpts from a really powerful text called Suicide and Spirituality When Suicidal Thoughts Attack the Soul. Now, we know that's a heavy title, but our goal here, our mission for this deep dive is to really get into the surprising, maybe even transformative perspectives this text offers. It's trying to help understand its message about suffering, about pain, and, well, the human spirit, and why looking at it this way might actually change things.
It really does offer, let's say, a significant challenge to how we normally view suicidal thoughts. The text reframes them completely, not as a personal failing or madness like society often implies, but as something else, a deeply human passage. Sometimes even sacred. The author actually suggests it's sort of encoded into the soul's design.
Encoded. Wow.
Yeah, so not an error, not a bug in the system, but almost like a catalyst, something built in for spiritual growth.
Okay, that really sets a different kind of stage. Let's dive into some of these insights then. It opens with a really arresting statement aimed right at someone in that space. It says, if you're thinking about ending your life, pause this moment, and then it adds, not because everything will magically fix itself, but because you are meant to rise.
It's a powerful opening, isn't it? An invitation, really.
Yeah.
And the core idea it builds on is this. What's breaking isn't you. It isn't your soul. What's breaking is, and this is the quote, the lie that told you you weren't enough to live.
The lie told you weren't enough.
Exactly. It says feeling lost, feeling like you're dying inside. That's not shameful. It's deeply human. He calls it a spiritual passage, something ancient, maybe even necessary, universal, not a personal flaw.
And that's where it draws a really sharp contrast with, the modern world. Usually these feelings get labeled depression, mental illness, instability, which can just pile on the shame, right? But the source says that labeling, that pathologizing is actually a deception.
A deception. Yeah.
It insists being lost is not a failure. So it's like by labeling it as sickness, maybe we're stopping people from actually from healing in a different way.
That's precisely the argument. It suggests we might be adding to the burden inadvertently. And to make that point stronger, it connects this kind of suffering to figures throughout history, well-known figures.
Oh, interesting. Like who?
Well, think about the Buddha. He didn't find enlightenment by avoiding pain. He left his palace because he saw suffering. He confronted it.
Right.
Or Jesus, wrestling with agony in the garden. That wasn't exactly easy. Or Rumi, the poet. He apparently spent years grieving after losing his teacher. Deep, deep pain.
Okay.
The point is, these weren't people immune to suffering. They were deeply human. And the text argues their big transformations came from facing that darkness, not running away.
So it's not new, and it's not weakness.
Exactly. It's part of a deeper human story.
But, okay, while it offers this reframing, it doesn't pretend the pain isn't real. It faces that head on. The source is the pain that pushes someone to the edge. It's real. It's not imagined, not exaggerated. It calls it a soul-level fracture that words can hardly touch.
And acknowledging that is so important. It validates the struggle. But then it tackles what it calls the greatest lie pain tells.
Which is?
The belief, the deep feeling that it's going to last forever, that this is it, now and always.
Oh, yeah. That feeling is powerful.
Hugely powerful. But the source argues against it. It says pain is intense, but it is not eternal. It might feel like it blots out everything, like it eclipses the light, but it says the light is simply hidden, waiting.
Hidden, waiting, yeah.
Buried beneath the ruins of an exhausted heart. So it suggests pain has a limit, even when it feels absolutely endless.
And that connects to something really moving in the text survivor's experiences. It talks about how many people who survive an attempt describe the sudden clarity, like moments after.
Yes, I found that part striking.
They realize the urge, that intense drive to die. It felt so real, but suddenly they see it not in an ultimate sense. It was like a temporary storm.
Yeah.
And the darkness had lied about them being alone, unloved, unwanted. They see that wasn't true.
That moment of seeing through the illusion, it ties right into the idea of purpose. Because the text argues the suffering isn't for death, it's for rebirth.
Rebirth.
Yeah. It says, quote, suicide is not freedom, it is interruption, like cutting a thread before the pattern is complete.
Interruption. Wow.
It argues the soul is actually crying out for rebirth.
Yeah.
And if it could just see even one step beyond the pain, it would find something amazing.
Like what?
The beginnings of purpose, the stirrings of power, the roots of the very healing others would one day need. It paints this dark night as the start of something profound.
Okay, but how do you deal with those thoughts, those feelings when they're right there? So intense. The text brings in a pretty core idea here, something you hear in a lot of wisdoms, right? This concept that every human being has thought, but one truth has remained the same in every sacred text. You are not.
Absolutely critical, because a suicidal thought I mean, it feels different. It feels like a command almost, like a final solution. And it sounds so certain, so logical in that moment.
Right. It dresses itself up in certainty.
Exactly. But the source says it's actually an echo of pain. It's the scream of an exhausted mind. And no matter how loud it gets, how convincing it sounds, it's still just a thought.
Still just a thought, not you.
Not the essential you. No, it's a mental event. Powerful, yes, but transient.
And it uses that classic river analogy to explain this, doesn't it?
It does. The ancient mystics taught this. The mind is like a river surface. Thoughts are the leaves floating by.
Some dark, some bright.
Right. But none of them are the river. The soul, text suggests, is the water, deep, still, and untouched beneath the move.
So the surface can be choppy, full of dark, but deep down, stillness, untouched. That's a powerful image.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's meant as reassurance. If you're caught in that kind of thinking, you're not defective. Well, the text says you're drowning in a river of thoughts they never chose, often from trauma or deep pain or fear.
Things that happen.
Precisely. But none of them are who the person really is. It separates the experience.
Okay, separating yourself from the thoughts. What about that feeling that just having these thoughts makes you or broken? The stance tackles that too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Directly. It reframes the thoughts themselves, calls them thieves.
Thieves.
Yeah. They enter uninvited, trying to steal your sacred treasure, the right to live. And it insists, believing those thoughts make you bad or broken. Not true. Simple as that.
So it's not about what pops into your head.
No. It says you're not defined by what appears in their mind, but by what they choose to believe. It brings in Rumi again. Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure.
Your pain becomes your cure.
The idea being the mind that's screaming for death today could be the same mind waking up to purpose tomorrow, but only if you don't mistake the passing storm for their eternal self.
And it also pushes back hard against the idea that this experience means you're weak.
Yes, that's another key point. It argues many people who feel this way are not weak. Quite the opposite. Often they are highly sensitive, deeply empathetic, and more spiritually awake than they know.
More awake? How so?
Well, the pain itself is seen as evidence of a soul that was never meant to live a shallow life. It suggests the depth of suffering reflects a depth of capacity for feeling, for connection.
So the pain isn't the problem, maybe, but a signal.
Exactly. The source says that the real pain often comes from living a false life, a life not aligned with your true self. That makes the soul want to exit. But the true exit is transformation, it argues, not death.
Transformation into that true life.
Yes. Your pain is part of your awakening to that mission. It's a sign something has to change, not by ending life, but by finally beginning to live in truth.
Wow. Okay, so this shifts how we should even view the suffering itself. And it uses some really vivid metaphors for this, like the wound.
Ah, yes, the Rumi quote again, essentially. The wound is the place where the light.
And then the Japanese art.
Kintsugi, yes, where they repair broken pottery with gold lacquer.
Right, so the breaks aren't hidden, they're highlighted, made beautiful.
Exactly. The vessel becomes more beautiful, not despite the damage, but because of it. The cracks become part of its story, its beauty, illuminated by gold.
That's a stunning image, resilience.
And it connects that idea to mythology, to the idea of a descent.
A descent, like into the underworld.
Precisely. The breaking point isn't the end, it's the middle. It's the part where the hero descends into the underworld, not to die, but to find the treasure buried in the darkness.
Like Persephone or Orpheus.
Or even Jesus in the tomb. These myths, the text says, are like maps of the human soul. So the breakdown. It's not failure. It is the sacred underworld where transformation, a necessary journey.
And just choosing to stay then. Choosing life, even just for one more day when it feels impossible.
It's called heroic, a beginning of a return. Not back to who you were before the pain, but towards who you were always meant to become.
And it claims the most wounded souls are often the most gifted.
Yeah, because their hearts understand suffering. They see things others miss. Their presence can be healing for others just by having gone through it.
Okay, so through this process, this breaking and staying, something deeper emerges.
Yeah, the text talks about something called the golden seed.
The golden seed.
It's described as the indestructible core of the soul, like a divine blueprint inside you.
A blueprint of who you really are.
Exactly. And suffer this intense breaking. It strips away everything false. It softens the soil, breaks open the hard parts. And in that raw openness, this seed can finally stir and grow. It reveals your innate nature. The text uses the Vedic term sabhava.
You're essential.
The real you, underneath all the conditions, revealed to the fire.
And when someone comes through that kind of collapse, their whole view changes.
Profoundly, the text suggests, the world stops being an enemy, a battlefield. It becomes a mirror.
A mirror.
Yeah. Every challenge is a lesson. Every person, a teacher. Wounds turn into wisdom. Burdens become blessed. Your perception totally shifts.
That sounds like quite a transformation.
It is. And the text mentions an ancient Gnostic writing, the Thunder Perfect Mind, to illustrate this state.
Oh, I know that one. Full of paradoxes, right?
Exactly. Like, I am the one who has been hated and the one who is loved. I am the one who is barren and many are her son. All these contradictions held together.
Okay.
The source suggests this reflects the awakened soul, someone who can hold all the opposites within themselves. No more hiding, no more pretending or needing to escape parts of themselves, just standing in the center of it all, fully present, radiant, true.
So for anyone listening, anyone who is standing in that darkness right now or has thought about giving up, the core message seems to be this, and the source says it directly. You are not cursed. You are not alone. You are not failing. You are being prepared. You are being hollowed out not to be destroyed, but to be filled with something greater than you have ever.
It's a powerful call back to yourself, a call to purpose. You are not here to disappear, it said. You are here to return.
Return.
Not as who you were, but as who you really are. And the world needs that. It needs, quote, the ones who have fallen and gotten back up, the ones who know the taste of darkness and still choose to offer light.
So what's waiting beyond the pain? It's not just things getting better. It's not just relief. It's presented as rebirth.
Yes, a revelation of a deeper self, that indestructible core that was always there, just hidden.
So the final thought, the text, really step at fire, find